So I don't want to make this channel a perpetual Catholic news Consecration of Russia update channel. In case anybody happened to be worried about that, because of it's been the subject of a few of my videos lately, and it's the subject of this video as well. I'm not going to get a one-track mind. I'm not going to get one-itis about this particular thing. I do think it's an extraordinary event to have lived through, and for that reason, I wanted to comment on its significance, which I did in the two previous videos to this one, and also in the video that I recorded about a week and a half ago when I first heard the news that this was going to happen, that the Pope and the bishops were going to, in accord with the Fatima apparition, what the Blessed Virgin is alleged to have said to the children who were the seers at Fatima, that they were finally going to consecrate Russia with the pretext, or not the pretext, but the motivation being brought by the war that has broken out in Ukraine. This is, I've been interested in Fatima for a while. I've been I wouldn't call myself a Fatima enthusiast, but the only reason why I'm not an enthusiast is just because of, I think if I were more devout, if I were stronger in my faith, I would be more of an enthusiast. It does capture my interest, and it is a very, very interesting account of, again, if you believe it, of God speaking through the lowly, and the most powerful entity in the universe, that is God, speaking through an intermediary, that is the Virgin Mary, and having her appear before these most humble of visionaries. These kids, these children who didn't really know much of anything about the world. These kids from this far-flung village, to whom she was imparting this incredible news of cosmic import. But we see that repeated many, many times. Of course, there are many famous visions that were granted, that were given to children, and others that were given to people of very humble backgrounds. As opposed to, you'd think that God would just be talking to the kings, or in our day, the presidents and the senators and so forth. But that's not the case. God speaks through the humble to confound the supposedly wise. Anyway, I wanted to talk about my experiences today because I knew that the consecration was going to happen at 5 o'clock, or they call it 17 o'clock. I guess that's a European thing. They have the 24-hour clocks. So that was noon Eastern time, my time, and what I thought I would do was on Fridays during Lent, I often take part in Stations of the Cross. Stations of the Cross are usually take place at at the downtown Cathedral of Savannah. They take place after the noon Mass. So I figured I would park, and I would watch the consecration take place in Rome, and then go to Mass after that, or go to Stations of the Cross after that. But it became clear as I was watching it on my as I was watching the events take place on my camera phone, I realized that they were saying a full mass in Rome, and so it was taking more time than I thought it was going to take. Plus, I was kind of getting triggered by seeing all the people wearing masks. I realized that that's sort of a trivial and silly thing to get worked up about in this context. But I still just hate them. I hate masks. People are free to wear them if they want, but it seems that here it was sort of a mandatory thing, and so everybody, at this holy site in Rome, were masked up, and I just didn't care for that sight. So anyway, I thought to myself, it's about 12:30, so mass should be, the normal 12 o'clock mass should be over. And although that today was a day of of some occasion, March 25th being a feast day on the liturgical calendar, I didn't figure, it's not one of those feast days that's a holy day of obligation, and I didn't figure, I thought that it would just be a typical noon mass where you've got a handful of people who show up, and it's just a said mass, and it takes maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour to finish. Really rarely takes more than 20-25 minutes to be said. It's just like a 1 or 2 minute sermon, and just a skeletal mass. No awful hymns, of course, which is one of the good things about daily mass as opposed to Sunday mass. Anyway, enough of my cynicism, enough of my cynical takes on the modern state of the church. When I got to the cathedral, I found, to my astonishment, not astonishment, but I was definitely surprised that the building was nearly full. It was quite crowded. It wasn't like packed to the gills full, but it looked like a Sunday mass kind of gathering, which it never looks like during the weekday mass, or rarely looks like during weekday mass when it's not a holy day of obligation. And the bishop was there, the local bishop, and so I actually was there for the latter part of mass, and I heard our local bishop read the prayer of consecration, and it was a powerful thing to hear it out loud, to hear Russia being consecrated to the Sacred Heart of Mary, in accord with what Mary told the Fatima children that the Pope and the bishops needed to do. It was powerful to hear it read out loud by the bishop. It felt as if something were being, as if you were reaching a pivotal moment in your journey. Maybe not the end of your journey, but it's like you climb the mountain, and maybe it's not the very peak, the top of the mountain, but let's say it's a very high peak that you never really thought you would get to. You always kind of thought, oh, I'm doing this now, but I won't really make it all the way up to that place in my lifetime. I'll probably turn around and go back. It'll probably never happen. But here we are at this very high peak. Now, the highest of peaks would be the fruits of the consecration, seeing them happen, and we don't know what form they will take, because I don't know. That's all up to God, and we don't even know for sure if this consecration was said quote unquote too late, in which case there will be fruits, but they won't be the fullest kind of fruits that would have been the result of the consecration being said in a truly timely manner. And I know there are people out there, especially trad types, not to put them down, because I'm trad oriented myself, But there are plenty of theologians of a more of the more trad variety who just think for one reason or another this is probably bogus. But on the other hand, I have to say that I've seen much less negativity about this event from the trads than I would have expected to, given that the trads hate and loathe Pope Francis, and I'm pretty close behind them. I'm not a fan of this current Pope either, as I've made clear, and so I just kind of thought they would find one reason or another, by hook or by crook, just to be dismissive and to wave it away. But from what I can see out there, that hasn't really been the case. There seems to be quite a bit of awe and reverence about the fact that this actually happened. And if you're not Catholic, then this probably doesn't mean anything to you personally. But I'm trying to describe it in a way that maybe you can understand. I guess when I recorded my video after the Braves won the World Series last year, and I sort of thought to myself, well, I have to talk about this because this is, I'm so exultant about it happening. But I know there are people out there who don't care about the Atlanta Braves. There are people out there who don't care about baseball, who think sports are just crap. Sports ball. And I knew there'd be people out there, and people can like or dislike sports, of course, just like people can like or dislike Catholicism, of course. But I'm just wanting to convey in these videos, in this video, I wanted to convey just how surprised I was to see a full church of people. Like, that many people were there for the consecration of Russia. And I don't know, were there other, and this is like normal people. I mean, I guess they'd probably be more observant, Catholics, but these weren't, this wasn't a place where, all the women were in veils and everybody was dressed to the nines, or any of the other giveaways or hallmarks of the more trad variety. This was a sizable number of, just, I hate to use the word folks, but these were just folks, but who felt moved enough by this entire notion of the Fatima prophecy being fulfilled, in the sense of the church finally doing by the letter what the Blessed Virgin Mary commanded, told the children must be done. So it was quite a thing to see, and to be there with, and to be surprised by the number of people who were there, and how I wasn't expecting that at all. I wasn't and I didn't know that the bishop would be there. I didn't know the bishop would be reciting the same prayer that the Pope was saying in Rome. So we'll see what happens from here on in. But those were my thoughts on the events of today, and just wanted to share it with you all. Thanks for watching.